Hey folks, so over here we have the EMEET Webcam C960 model, and over here we have the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite. Now both of these are 4K webcams capable of recording up to 4K 30 frames per second. However, the EMEET is about a third of the price of the OBSBOT. Now, I will say that the OBSBOT is a fantastic webcam, and I'm going to show you the image quality of both in a moment. So I don't want to go into this, asking which one has better image quality, because the OBSBOT is going to be the clear winner. And it also has a number of other features. But are those features worth the fact that this is going to cost you 3 times as much as the EMEET over here? Especially when the image quality of the EMEET, as you're about to see, is in my opinion still more than satisfactory and leaps ahead in terms of what we got from webcams just a few years ago. So before we get into the different features that the OBSBOT offers, let's just go straight into the image quality tests. And I do want to clarify that I'm not doing any post-processing on these results. Of course, lighting can be an issue, so if you have less lighting than I do, then you may get more noise in your images. So let's start with the EMEET here, the C960, see what sort of quality we can get out of the image. Okay, so right now I'm using the EMEET 4K C960, and again, this is on default settings, so I haven't made any adjustments. So yes, it's slightly overexposed, I would say, but the actual image quality is fantastic. For a budget 4K webcam, I am super impressed with the EMEET, and I think if you're just looking for some decent image quality, and you don't want to break the bank, then the EMEET is going to be more than satisfactory for most people. For a budget webcam, I was really surprised by the EMEET and just how good a quality this thing can produce. But let's go ahead now and see what the OBSBOT, again about 3 times the price over the EMEET, is capable of giving us. Okay, so this is the OBSBOT camera now, and what I like about this is that it has actually adjusted the ambient surroundings, or accounted for the ambient surroundings, and adjusted the exposure setting accordingly, so there's nothing overexposed in this image, even though I haven't made any adjustments whatsoever. Again, the image quality is absolutely fantastic. There's hardly any noise here, which I've got to say for both of these webcams is really impressive, because webcams and good image quality generally don't go together in the same sentence. But hopefully some of these models that we're starting to get now are showing that that doesn't have to be the case. So yes, the OBSBOT is definitely going to give you a slightly better result in terms of image quality. Is that worth 3 times the price? It depends how professional you want to look in your videos. But let's make another video comparison here. I'll switch between the 2 cameras more fluently, and maybe that will give you even a better idea. EMEET at the moment. Let's go ahead and try the OBSBOT. So let's switch over. Okay, this is the OBSBOT, so this is the OBSBOT you're now looking at. Again, it's not overexposed, whereas the EMEET is just a little bit. But you can adjust the exposure settings, of course, but I'm just showing you out-of-the-box settings. Let's go ahead and enable the EMEET again. So this is the EMEET, and this is the OBSBOT. So this is the OBSBOT, this is the EMEET, and this is the OBSBOT. So let's go ahead and see what the mic quality sounds like from the inbuilt microphone on the EMEET C960. So this is a mic test with the EMEET camera. Okay, so how does this audio sound? I'm about 2.5 feet away from the camera itself. And is this going to be acceptable for Zoom calls? You tell me. This is the audio with the EMEET C960 4K webcam. Okay, so let's go ahead now and compare that to the mic quality of the OBSBOT here. And this is a mic test with the OBSBOT. So how does the audio sound here? This is the OBSBOT. How does it compare to the EMEET audio? Obviously, this is a much more expensive camera, but does that really reflect in mic quality? So is this going to be suitable for your Zoom calls? This is the audio test for the OBSBOT. So yeah, with audio, neither sounded, absolutely like a professional microphone, but I do think the OBSBOT does give you more crystal clear audio over the EMEET. The EMEET did have quite a bit of noise in the audio that wasn't present in the OBSBOT. Again, I think that's because you're paying quite a bit more here. But if you're going to be doing something like live streaming on YouTube or Twitch, then the audio quality is probably irrelevant, as you're going to be wanting to use a dedicated microphone anyway. So image and audio quality aside, the OBSBOT does offer additional features that are simply not present here with the EMEET. The most obvious thing is that this thing comes with a gimbal. So you can adjust the angle of your footage without having to physically move the webcam itself. A lot of you are not going to need a gimbal on your webcam because it's just a talking headshot. You know, you're sitting down, you have the webcam pointed at you, and there's not a whole lot of movement in those shots. So ultimately, is the added expenditure for the OBSBOT going to be worth it? Well, I think it depends on two things. First of all, obviously, if you need that hardware gimbal for some reason, depending on what you're going to be filming, then the EMEET shouldn't even be in the equation because it doesn't have that feature. But if you're just going to be using it as a traditional webcam, sitting down with the camera pointed at you, then the gimbal's kind of irrelevant anyway, in which case then it comes down to the visual and audio quality. Again, audio quality I tend to put on the back burner, as you will probably be using dedicated audio anyway. Image quality then is going to be the main factor, and there's no doubt about it, there's definitely better image quality with the OBSBOT 2. If you're trying to go for a more professional look, maybe you're trying to grow a YouTube or Twitch channel and you want to have the best possible video that you can get, then definitely the increased cost of the OBSBOT 2 is going to be worth it. But if you're just getting started, then the budget price of the EMEET, I think, gets you packed with value. The EMEET is definitely a capable camera. So in conclusion, unless you fall into the specific use cases where the OBSBOT is able to outperform the EMEET, mainly in that gimbal hardware, then I would probably recommend the EMEET for most people. I think as a webcam, it does a great job. It's better than pretty much any other webcam I've used in prior years past, and I'm really happy with it. I love the OBSBOT 2, but it's a little bit more niche. So I think for mainstream, and considering those price differences, the EMEET probably wins out. Thank you for checking out the video, guys. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you next time.